Marhaba, welcome back to the Beginner's Bliss series, Arabic Alphabets Part 4, which is the last part. We will complete our Arabic alphabets today, inshallah. So let's dive right in. The first letter we have is Lam, Lam, and the sound of letter Lam is just like the sound of letter L in word lamp, lam, l, lamp, lam, lamp. Now these are the four forms of lam, and some students confuse lam with letter alif when it appears in the middle of the word. So I'm going to explain this part in a bit more detail. I have made a table showing all four forms of the letters alif and lam. Now we see a major difference in the isolated form, so there's no confusion here. For the beginning, Alif is always in an isolated form. It is not connected to any letter after it. It will always be in an isolated form. Whereas Lam will always be connected to the letter after it when it appears in the beginning. So this is clear. But it is the middle form that most of my students tend to confuse it with Alif. Now, when alif appears in the middle of a word, it is only connected to the letter before it, whereas lam is always connected to the letter before it as well as the letter after it. Now, you might think then what's confusing, because alif is just connected to the letter before it and lam is connected on both sides, so what's the confusion? It is actually the shape of alif and lam that confuses most of the students because it looks exactly the same. Both of them have a straight line. Let's have a quick look at the formation of letter lam and alif at the end of the word as well. So we've already discussed alif previously. It could be connected to the letter before it, or it could be in an isolated form. And same goes for lam. In fact, all the Arabic alphabets can appear in a connected as well as isolated form at the end. I have come up with two simple examples to erase any confusion between alif and lam. We have two words here. The first one is with an alif in the middle of the word, and the second one is with a lam in the middle of the word. Now we are going to open up both these words to see the formation of the word. Now the first letter, kitab, which is a book, consists of four letters, kaf, ta, alif, ba. Since we are focusing on the formation of alif and lam, I'm just going to discuss that. Alif here is connected to the letter before it, which is letter ta. And we see that it is not connected to the letter after it, which is letter ba. And you will never find alif connected to the letter after it. Now the second word, which is malak, consists of three letters. The first one is letter mim, the second one is lam, and the third one is kaf. Now here we see that lam is connected to both the letters, that is the letter before it as well as the letter after it. Although they both look the same because they both are a straight line, they are not the same. Alif will not be connected to the letter after it, but lam is connected to both the letters, and it will always be connected to both the letters whenever lam appears at the middle of the word. If we join all these letters together, we are going to get the words kitab and malak. See, they look exactly the same. Getting back to the letter lam, here are the two examples. The first one is malab, which is a playground. We see that lam is in the middle of the word, so it is connected on both sides. The second word is lauz, lauz, which is almond. Malab, lauz. That's it for letter lam. The next letter that's waiting for us is letter meme, meme. And the sound of letter meme is just like the sound of letter M in the word match. Meme, meme, that is ma, meme. So these are the four forms of meme. The first one is isolated one, then comes the beginning one. It is connected to the letter next to it. It's always connected to the letter next to it. For the middle, it is connected on both sides, just like the letter Lam. And for the ending, it is connected to the letter before it, or it could be in an isolated form as well. Let's have a look at the examples. The first example is ma, which is water. Ma is water. It is connected to the letter after it, which is Alif, not Lam, Alif. The next example is madrasa. Madrasa, which is a school. And here meme appears at the beginning of the word and it is connected to the letter after it, which is dal. And that's it for me. So the next letter is letter noon, and the sound of letter noon resembles the sound of letter N in the word night. Noon, n, noon, n, and it's pretty simple. Now, when noon is joined to other letters, it does resemble the letter ba, but the difference is that ba has a dot under it and noon has a dot over it. So there's nothing confusing about it. Noon is written in an isolated form this way with a dot over it. When it is written at the beginning of the word, it is always joined to the letter after it. And for the middle part, it is joined on both sides, that is to the letter before it as well as the letter after it. And at the end, it can be joined to the letter before it or in an isolated form. Let's have a look at the examples. So the first example is Najm, Najm, which is a star. Noon is at the beginning and it is joined to the letter Jim after it. And for the second example, it is in the middle of the word, Ainab, Ainab, which is grape. And noon is in the middle of the word and it is joined on both the sides. First letter is Ain, then noon, and then Ba. And that's it. Up next is letter Ha, Ha. And it's pretty easy. The sound of letter Ha is exactly like the sound of letter H in the word hat or hello or happy or house. So basically, Ha sounds just like the letter H. Ha, hat. Now the shape of the letter Ha changes with each form. So if it is written in an isolated form, it will look like a drop. And when it is written at the beginning of the word, it looks like the seeds of the apple to me. That's how I learned this letter. And Ha is connected to the letter after it. For the middle form, it is connected on both the sides and the shape changes again. And it looks like one of the wings of a butterfly to me. And these are the pictures in case you're wondering what these shapes are. And for the ending part, Ha changes its shape again and it is connected to the letter before it. However, Ha can also appear in an isolated form at the end. And now let's have a look at the examples. So the first example is Mihna. Mihna. Mihna is a profession. And we see that Ha has changed its shape because it is connected on both the sides and it is in the middle of the word. The second word is Haram. Haram, which is a pyramid. And Ha has again changed its shape because it is appearing at the beginning of the word. And that's it for Ha. Now the second last letter of Arabic alphabets is letter Waw. And the sound of letter Waw resembles the sound of letter W in the word window. Wow, window. And it is the only Arabic letter that can be found in an isolated form at the beginning of the word, in the middle of the word, or at the end. In an isolated form, it is of course isolated. At the beginning, it will always be isolated, but in the middle, it could be joined or connected to the letter before it, or it could also be in an isolated form. And at the end as well, it could be connected or in an isolated form. Now, let's have a look at the examples. The first example is Warda, Warda, which is a rose. Warda, a rose. And we see that Waw is not connected to the letter after it, and it is at the beginning of the word. But In the second example, طاولة, طاولة, which is a table, we see that waw is in the middle of the word, but it is not connected to the letter before it or after it. The last letter of Arabic alphabets is letter Ya. Now, the sound of letter Ya is exactly like the sound of letter Y in the word yes. Ya, yi, yes. Ya, yi, yes. And these are the four forms of Ya. When Ya is written in an isolated form, it looks kind of like the letter S with two dots under it. And at the beginning, it is written like the letters ba, ta, tha, and noon as well, but it has two dots under it. Then in the middle of the word, it is connected to the letter before it as well as the letter after it, just like the letters ba, ta, tha, and noon. And it has two dots under it. Now these two dots will remain there. And at the end, it is written, it looks like a duck to me. It is connected to the letter before it, or it can also be in an isolated form. Again, I'm repeating, all the letters in Arabic can be found in an isolated form at the end. All right, so let's have a look at the examples for the letter Ya. The first example is Yad, Yad, which is a hand. We see that Ya is connected to the letter after it with two dots under Ya. Ya, Yad, which is a hand. The second example is Bait, Bait, which is a house. And here Ya is in the middle of the word. It is connected to the letter before it, which is Ba, then Ya, and then Ta, Bait, Bait. And that's it for the Arabic alphabets. We are done with all of them. Now you can see if you can join all the letters together to make words. Again, I have chosen 4 words using all the Arabic alphabets, and you can join them to make a proper word. The first word is Sa'id, Sa'id. 4 letters, Sin, Ain, Ya, Dal, Sa'id, which is to be happy. The second one is Bait, that we just did. Ba, Ya, Ta, Bait, which is a house. The third word is Saif, Saif, which is a sword. Sin, Ya, Fa, Saif. And the last word is Qalam, Qalam, which is a pen. Qaf, Lam, Mim. Now you can connect all these letters and make 4 words. Now that's it for Arabic alphabets for now, but I will be leaving you with a question, and that is, why is it that every Arabic letter can take an isolated form when positioned at the end of a word, but can also be connected to the letter before it? Now, if you look into it, the answer is present in the lessons we have already covered in the part 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let me know in the comments below if you know the answer, and if not, check out my next video. Ma salama!